Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. I hope you are as excited as I am for today's video because this is a super fun collaboration. I have joined up with 7 other YouTube artists. There are 8 of us in total, and we have all done our own version of this water lily photo, each using a different medium. So I really hope that you will, after watching my video, of course, go out and check out everybody else's, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. So my medium was soft pastels, and I'm going to use a mixture of my Faber-Castell mini sticks, Koh-i-Noor Gouache, I still can't say that, Gouache, no idea, pencils, and Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils for this drawing. And this collab was the idea of ArtByEsterA, and she is using acrylics, so do go and check her out. I will put all of the links to all of the other artists in the description below so that you can easily go and check them out later. She was using acrylics, and the other YouTubers joining in are Autey, who is using markers, Cherry Floss, who is making this out of Fimo, I'm really excited to see that, MoniqueReneeArt, who is using watercolors, Oana's illustration, who is doing a mixed media piece, Wonderfool, who is doing a digital art version, and ArtAdventure, who is using acrylic gouache. And I am so excited to see what everybody else has done with this too. And as I said, do go and check them out. Their links will be in the description below. I'm sure everyone else has done some amazing work, so please do go and check them out. So on to my piece then, and I started out by sketching the outline of the lily and the lily pads directly onto a piece of green pastel mat with a pastel pencil to make sure I was happy with the layout before I started putting down colour. And I was actually pretty surprised that I got most of this right on like my first try. I didn't really have to rub anything out, so I was pretty impressed with my own drawing skills there for once. And then basically I started by colouring the lily, working from top to bottom, left to right, so there was less chance of me smudging everything with my hand, because that is something that I'm very good at. And I also used a piece of glassine paper as extra protection, because I'm just very good at putting my hand in the wrong place. It is a talent of mine, usually with watercolours, but even with things that smudge like pastels. I'm very good at putting my hand anywhere where it's just been painted. So the petals furthest back were the lightest, so I started off with a white base, followed by a touch of peach, and then just light pink on top, and I just went back and forwards, tried to not to lay down too much pink, and went in back and forwards with the white to smooth out and lighten, and then just a back and forwards between the two colours until I was happy with it really, and happy with how it had blended. Later on in the piece I did then realise that some of these leaves further back did even have a bit of a bluish tinge to them, so I went back and added just a light touch of purple because my blues weren't really the right colour, so I felt that a purple was the right shade to do that, and that you'll see me doing that in a couple of minutes. So most of the petals followed the same process. I have cut some of them out, so not to bore you overly much with this, but it is starting with a pale white base, then the peach, and then varying shades of pink, and going back and forth between the colours, just to get a nice even coverage and a nice blend between the different shades. And you can just see me doing that on all of the petals really. The petals towards the centre, I just used slightly less white and more pink and more deep red just in the shadow areas, and for some of the shadows I also layered a grey underneath and then the red on top, just to get a colour closer to the colour that I was looking for. I really wanted the stamens in the middle of the flower to pop just that little extra. So I used a really bright red, bright orange and bright yellow on these, and just blended from the darkest areas in the centre with a quite bright red, and then shadowy areas with the orange, and then just this really brilliant pop of yellow then on the tops where they were lightest, just to bring them out and make them stand out from the petals around them. and when all of that was done, I will then be moving on to the lily pads. So on to the lily pads, and for these I used a couple of pastel mini sticks to cover the larger areas more quickly, and then I touched up the edges with pastel pencils. So it's just a light green and a dark green. These mini sticks don't really have names on them, so yeah, I can't really say much more than that. And then I just was touching them up with the actual pastel pencils around the edge. I literally added colour until I was happy with the blend, smudged everything with my finger, and then finally added details like the veins with like a slightly lighter yellowy colour, or sometimes with a white and stuff. So, and then I took the white mini stick and added white highlights, and on some of the water on the lily pads there were even a few water droplets, and I just drew those with a white pastel pencil. And some of the lily pads also had like red details and things, so it was just a case of adding in the different colours, blending them until I was happy with how they had blended, and yeah, basically again, this was a fairly repetitive process. You've seen one lily pad, you've seen them all. So I have tried to cut out as much as possible so that you don't get too bored watching me draw and colour lots and lots of lily pads all in the same way, with just a bit of colour variation here and there. But overall I am really happy with how this piece turned out and how realistic it looks. This piece has helped me to break a bit of an art block too, so I'm really hopeful that this will help me get back into being more creative now. But one thing that I was really impressed with, that I showed this piece to my mum, and she was like, "What, is that not a photo?" So I think I did a pretty good job of doing a realistic drawing there. So yeah, I was really glad with how it turned out. So anyway, now I've drawn this in pastels. All the other people have drawn these in different mediums, or even made them out of clay. My question for you guys then is, if you could only choose one medium to use forevermore, what would you choose and why? So leave me your answers in the comments down below. I'm really interested to find out, because I actually keep falling more and more in love with pastels every day. So at the moment that is probably the one that I would use, as long as I had like pastel matte as well, and I'd be happy with that. But anyway, if you are new here and popping in from one of the other Collab members' channels, hello, welcome, I'm so glad you came over. My name is Emma. I make hopefully weekly art videos. I do use a variety of mediums, not just pastels, but I really hope you like what you see and that you would like to stay around and see the other stuff that I do. Please feel free to subscribe in and join me on my art journey if you do. And just a quick reminder to those of you that often watch my videos, please do go out and check out my fellow collaborators, because everyone has worked so hard on this collaboration. It's been really great fun. I just want to thank ArtByEsterA for setting this all up and being very understanding when we wanted to change things like the dates and stuff of when we were doing everything and getting this all organised, because 8 people is not easy to organise. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Now you get to enjoy me taking the tape off. If I actually shut up, I'll let you enjoy the last bits. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!